Stars, Devils, Avalanche, Red Wings, Devils, Lightning, Hurricanes, Ducks, Red Wings, Penguins, Blackhawks, Bruins, Kings, Blackhawks, Kings, Blackhawks. Why am I listing these teams? These are the teams that won Stanley Cups between 1999 and 2015. The gap the gap that was sandwiched by back-to-back Stanley Cup reigns. That's right. For the first time in 19 years, for the first time in the salary cap era, we have repeat champions. Still, the Stanley Cup champions. Little Howard Finkel for you. The Pittsburgh Penguins captured Lord Stanley's Cup for the second straight year, beating the Nashville Predators in 6 games. And just like last year, the Penguins captured the Cup on the second Sunday in June. And in the East Coast, it ended at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, so another hour would have been, and they would have won on the exact 1 year anniversary had the game went into some long overtime. But it was it's been a crazy year throughout. But that the Stanley Cup final as a whole was something else. It was a tale of different settings and different teams when they played on home ice. The Penguins pretty much dominated games 1 and 2. But when the scene shifted to Nashville, the Predators just made it rain all over the Penguins, and Pecorine was the brick wall that he has been for pretty much all year. And but when they went back to Pittsburgh, that brick wall crumbled, and worse than that, the Predators stopped scoring. They got shut out in Game 5 and in Game 6. And that Game 6 was nuts. The game-winning goal was scored by Patrick Hornqvist, the first goal of the game, with 95 seconds left of regulation. Now, you can't get any crazier than that. You can't get any crazier than that. But yeah, it was just an amazing, amazing night. That Game 6, Hornqvist scored, and then Hagelin scored the empty netter. Now, here's a little bit of a trivia note. Talk about repeating. Last year's Game 6, Hornqvist kind of won the cup last year because they were already up 2-1, but he scored the empty netter in Game 6 late that clinched it. That pretty much clinched it. As far as this year's Game 6, he scored the first goal of the game, which turned out to be the game-winning goal. And Hagelin, when he put it in the empty net, he made it official. So the Penguins, this is their 5th Stanley Cup, their 5th cup, second straight, and their 3rd since 2009. And it's amazing. It's amazing what they've done. This team actually repeated. We have repeat Stanley Cup champions for the first time in 19 years. And now with this, we have to ask: are the Penguins a dynasty now, or are they going to be a dynasty? Because in recent years past, the Kings and the Blackhawks were the closest thing to a dynasty. The Kings won 2 out of 3. In the NHL, that's a dynasty because winning back-to-back is hard in hockey. Meanwhile, teams do it all the time in other sports. Of course, the Kings won 2 out of 3 when they won in 2012 and 2014. The Blackhawks won 3 in this decade. They won in 2010, 2013, and 2015. And when they won in 2015, they were kind of like the de facto dynasty of the NHL. I mean, they won 3 in 6 seasons. That's something. That's one every other season. They were like the hockey equivalent of the Giants. But now we have a team that won 2 cups in as many years. So that begs the $1 million question. Are the Penguins the current dynasty? Are they gonna be this mega team now? Because the NHL has never really had a mega team. The NHL has had a mega team in about 30 years. They've had strong championship teams, but they would win one or two and then get close the next year and get beat out. The NHL has never had a super team really since the old Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier Oilers back in the mid to late '80s. That was the last truly dominant super team in the NHL. And after that, teams would just win cups. Different teams just win cups left and right. Some would win like two in a span, and there have been some back-to-back wins. But there has not been a three-peat in 3 decades. So that's the question. They won 2 in a row. Are they going to make it 3 straight next year? That's the thing. Or is some upstart team going to pop up and knock them off? Are the Senators going to do it? Are the Rangers going to do it? Uh, 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 if they get to the final, if they get back to the final again, will the Blackhawks beat them out? Or will a certain team in the Rocky Mountains make an uprise? We know one thing: Washington won't get there. Oh man, but yeah. So how fitting, a crazy ending to a crazy season with an even nuttier postseason. And how's this for irony? How's this for irony? 27 overtime games the first 3 rounds, but none in the final. Now, isn't that something? They were one overtime game away from the record, from a new record, but no overtime. This is the second final in 3 years. Fun fact: the second final in 3 years not to have any overtime games. I thought Game 6 would have it because nobody was scoring, but then Horkfish got that puck in off the back of Rene. So, so that killed the overtime. So yeah, this year no overtime in the final. Last year's final had 2 overtime games, none in 2015, but 2014, despite the fact it was a 5 game final, three of the games of the 2014 final went to overtime, and 2 of those 3 went to multiple overtime. But yeah, what a amazing season. I swear. I enjoy hockey more and more every year. I swear that sport gets better every year. The NBA needs to take lessons from the NHL on how to have a really great, captivating, nail-biting season. Because the NHL just keeps getting better and more dramatic and more spontaneous. The spontaneity in the NHL has existed pretty much throughout my entire lifetime, my entire 32 years at the least. But it's all over. A Stanley Cup champion has been crowned, not a new one, but possibly the beginning of a new dynasty. The only sad part about that is the season's over. Oh no. That's right. No more hockey. No more hockey until October, until early October. But just because there's no hockey till October doesn't mean that I won't be back on YouTube until then. I still have a lot to discuss in other sports. The Canadian Football League will be back in less than 2 weeks, so I'll have my quarterly review like I did last year. Um, in next month, I'll review. Next month, I'll review the first half of the baseball season. What's going on there? And yeah, so I'll be back on YouTube within the next like few weeks. But my fellow puckheads, you like I have enjoyed a very immensely nail-biting, exciting, and most importantly, exhausting season. So do as I'm about to do. Take a deep breath. Stay hydrated. You're gonna need it. And just relax until a new season begins in October. So with that, I'll say good night to my fellow hockey fans. And again, congratulations to Pittsburgh Penguins for capturing their second straight cup.